Where was I in the general overview? I just got to Oddworld. So Oddworld was the first time I got to a job, and I got to use all my skills because designers there did everything. The engine was built as a proprietary engine built inside of Maya. So we would go in Maya as the level editor, and we would drop things in the world, open up scripts on them, attach them to, scripting files, stuff like that. We'd lay out the level, build the terrain, all that stuff. Everything was right in Maya, and it was really cool. But I did everything. Like, as a designer, I did the white box layouts. I did all the gameplay scripting. I did all the animations for special stuff in the world, special gameplay mechanics. Like, I did all that, and then collaborated with, other members of the team for, making it look better, function correctly, all that good stuff. Stay in budget, all those good things. But it was a wild working on Stranger's Wrath, and I did the Joe Mama battle for that, and then a few other things that are a little harder to describe. But I was in charge of like 4 or 5 pieces of content in the game. So for me, that was my first time, like, full on design development. Like, I'm doing all the things that I learned to do, and I had a really good time with that. But after Stranger's Wrath shipped, we started on a unannounced title that there's some info out there about, called The Brutal Ballad of Fangus Clot. And so I was doing a lot of, mock-up level designs, stuff like that. We were working on that, trying to find a new publisher. And ultimately couldn't get it done in time. The company was in the process of moving we were in San Luis Obispo, and we were moving up into the Bay Area. And the weird thing was, like, a bunch of us they're like, hey, we want to take you to the new location. We're going to move. We're going to help find housing for people, all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. That sounds great. I'll be a part of that. There were people that decided not to go, like locals of the town that didn't want to move, things like that. And the weird thing was, the shutdown of the Oddworld studio happened after that decision was made. So the people that had decided not to go had already gotten, like, a severance and like a package to not continue with the company. And then the rest of us that were planning to go, they're like, well, we don't have much now, so we'll pay you for the next couple of weeks like we can. And you get to keep your computer and your chair and all of this stuff. And as a matter of fact, this chair that I have right now is an identical one of what I had there. It's an Aeron chair, and it's the best chair that I'd owned. I used that chair for like 10 years after I left there, until it finally broke. And I tried a whole bunch of other chairs since then, and then I went back and got another one of these because they're awesome. Herman Miller chairs are nice. Elford says, in your opinion, which project made you grow the most as a game designer? And what was it about that project that pushed you forward? I'm going to give a general answer at first and say most projects taught me a lot, just because each project was kind of a different step in my career. So when I worked on Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, that was the most eye-opening project for me, and the team that I missed the most, because it was a small team. There's 24 people in development. We had 6 designers, 8 artists, 10 programmers, and then the 3 cinematic artists. But that small team, every one of those people were so much more experienced than me and so good at what they did. I learned constantly. I was constantly terrified and learning, but that made me put me in a position to make some cool stuff, right? Because I saw the cool stuff they were doing. I learned from them. It pushed me harder. I learned a lot, right? Revelia says, I am a gifted writer and am really trying to break into narrative design. Should I get a game design certificate, or what path might you recommend? So I'll caveat this by saying I am not a writer, right? Like, as a designer, we do have to do some writing. I want to get this third shot ready from Hellforge. Like on Stranger's Wrath, I wrote all of the dialogue for the characters in my area, in the levels that I built.